Oh my god, hey. Welcome to Zane Morgan Crafts. I'm Zane Morgan. Let's get into this. So, one of my planned builds for November was a market. Well, seeing as we're now in December, that didn't happen. I know. I'm sorry. As you know, if you watched my last video, my friends are a huge help to not only my mental health, but in return my craft. So, I was looking for areas for inspiration, and a lot of my friends play Skyrim. Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, I think it's the same thing. Yeah. They said, look no further, check out Skyrim. It has a lot of great, cool stuff to get inspired by. So I did just that. And I discovered a village called Ska Village. So if you want to see what I created, stick around. I made some cool SDLs, so you want to see that? And if you want to grab them, check out the video. I'll tell you how. Sit back, relax. Here we go. Ska Village is a snow-covered Nordic settlement home to some shamanistic people. Let me say this. The styling is absolutely beautiful. I, however, wanted something simple, and there was a building that stood out to me. There's an open-walled hunting shack with fresh kills hanging from the rafters, and I thought I could translate this into a market. So I found some images of it, drew it out, and this build is mostly roof, which kind of threw me off because I really hadn't done anything like this to date. Nonetheless, I created a stencil in Blender and used that to cut out the curved shape of the roof edges. So I've never built a roof this way, and that is actually building support beams and rafters, and it was a fun experiment. And I kind of wish I didn't put shingles on this piece, as a lot of it got hidden in the end. I knew this was going to be a pain in the butt to paint, so where I would normally just cover this portion up and paint it when it was done, I had to change my course of action. So once the structure was complete, I Mod Podged what I had created. While that dried, I began constructing the base. I used some toothpicks to add some support to the beams that would hold up the structure. I knew from the get-go I wanted the roof to attach magnetically, that way I'd be able to remove it and it would become a playable piece. To get the magnets in, I took the tip of the glue gun and melted a hole in the top and glued them in. I knew I wanted to make this my own, and it's a market after all, not a hunter shack, so I took some artistic liberties with this piece. I built up a back wall that the merchants could store things on. Next, I added in some planks that would amount to about half the flooring, and this is where the merchants would settle down, and the patrons would have to deal with dirt floors. It's basically an open market, so deal with it. After Mod Podging the rest of the piece, I went in with some basic wood painting, black, burnt umber, real brown, and then some tan on top. And when I give you these color names, it's folk art, so just know that. Anyways, this gave it a nice warm wood look, and I was pretty okay with it. I then started to shape the base the piece is sitting on using my trusty hot wire tool. You all should be pretty familiar with this process by now. I was sculpting it with a hot wire knife and then going in with some wall spackle. I then base coated it with some brown, after Mod Podging of course. And to make some areas look like rock, I just did some dry brushing. But that was off camera. So I went in then with some tacky glue all over the piece, and then used my trusty jar of dirt to give me some free dirt texture. In Skyrim, Ska Village is covered in snow, and I wanted this piece to be pretty versatile, so I decided to put some cheap Wish.com flowers that I had laying around and put those in places, and I also added some rocks. Next, it was time to get the shingles going, and thanks to SHIFTINGLANDS for sending me this dragon scale shingle jig. It was wonderful, and actually I kind of made this piece specifically so that I could use the shingles. Before I began the shingling process, I just pre-cut backing that they'd be laid on so that I knew the size of the roof, and when that was done, I gave it a coating of royal blue and then some hits of brown and tan to dirty it up. I then glued the pieces onto the roof, and goodbye my beautiful rafters, I will miss you. You can still view them from one side, but still you lose the effect, which I'm sad about. So remember I had said I had designed some STLs? Well, here they are. If you're a Patreon member, you get these this month. And there's a long market stall with some boxes on top. There's a fish market table with some fish, and then there's a version without. There's also a barrel with an open top. The other side is closed, so use it as you want. These got pretty basic paint jobs, and they turned out pretty nice, in my opinion. When those were done, I decided to add in some static grass to add more interest to the base. Now, this piece is like 97% roof, and while that's cool, it wasn't exactly aesthetically pleasing to me, and it was driving me nuts. I added some tea leaves for dead leaves on the roof, but that really wasn't helping much, so I consulted some friends, and one suggestion that stood out was adding some painted symbols onto the woodwork to give it more of that Nordic look. So I did just that. Thanks, Slavko. And here I present to you the market. Hey guys, I just wanted to take a second to say thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. All of your feedback has been amazing and appreciated, so keep it up. Let me know what you think of the build in the comments. Hit that like button if you like it. If you don't, it away. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Again, you can check out my Patreon if you wanted to. You get those STLs plus any of the other STLs I've created in these videos. So be sure to check that out. Again, thank you so much. You rock. I'll see you next time. Bye.